So I'm just going to wait a moment in case anyone comes in live real quick. Also, just want to give it a moment for this live. Sometimes when I start the live, it doesn't actually start for a few seconds, half a minute in. So we'll just wait a moment. All right, you guys. So just found a story on YouTube right now. It's coming from Spotsylvania County, Virginia. Virginia mom charged with murder after toddler's THC overdose. So for me, you know, being a huge proponent, a huge advocate of cannabis, of medicinal, of having medicinal cannabis and of industrial hemp. I've been a huge researcher and educator in this field for well over 20 years now. And it was hard to believe that this occurred. So I just listened to the story. It's a two and a half minute news story here. Let me see who's even. It's a NBC News. So 7,000, almost 8,000 people have watched it so far. It just went up today. 151 likes on this video so far. So there you can see their little logo right there, and so yeah, so this woman, she looks really, really sad because you know, her child just passed away, and it's really sad because of the situation. So, you know, a lot of states, there's over like 36 states now, I believe, that have passed for the legalization or recreationalization, I guess is what you would call it, of using adult use for cannabis, 21 and over. So there's a lot of different companies that are coming out, a lot of individuals who are coming out as entrepreneurs of this business. And for me, this was really hard to believe, because from what I've learned, the only thing that really happens from a THC overdose is a nice deep sleep. And I don't mean forever kind of deep sleep. I mean like you just go to bed, you know. I don't even think there's been issues with people going to bed and then falling into comas or anything like that. I've never heard of that kind of situation. And so it's interesting to me to see this, to hear that there's a THC overdose. But being that I am who I am, and you're watching, this is Dan the Glass Man, you're watching the Glass Man's World. And being who I am, a huge researcher of this, of cannabis, basically, this shocked me. Because this has never happened before. Even in the comments, you will see that there are individuals who are stating, well, this is the first for this to ever have occurred. You know, people are saying, I've never heard of this ever happening, right? So I just watched about a minute in. I got to about this part right here in the video, a minute and 43 seconds in, and I had to pause it. I had to stop it because I noticed something on this labeling of the package. So I had to rewind it, and I had to like really like, you know, I had to put my eyes to work because I need glasses and I can't see well. So I have to, it's the truth. My wife's all laughing at me now, but it's the truth. And so, let me just make sure live chat is on. So if you guys want to go on ahead and chat in the conversation right now, please, welcome to do so. So I got to about a minute and 43 seconds in. You know, I used this as the screenshot for the video shot right here, right? So you see that right there, right? And then a little bit before that, they show some other candies, and a little bit before that, there's this other one right here that's got real tiny labels. That's what I'm talking about. It's really hard to read. My eyes don't work as well as they used to. So I only got about a minute and a half in on this 2.5 minute video and realized, whoa, wait a minute. Are they trying to lie with statistics? Didn't we have this conversation earlier? Lying with statistics. So what they do is they put this information out there. They're not lying that it's a THC overdose, but they're not telling you which THC or how it's been derived or how it's been chemically treated or created in a lab. So with this information not being spoken about, there's a lot of information that's missing in this whole story, this news story here. And so I just wanted to play this for you real quick. It's only 2.5 minutes. I'm gonna let them state what they have to state real quick, and then I'm gonna do a little rewind and a slow down. We're gonna zoom in. We're gonna do the best we can to show you what's really going on here. Okay?
Annette Clemens, jailed without bond after a grand jury indicted her this week for felony murder and child neglect. It was May 6th when emergency crews were called to this Spotsylvania home where she and the boy were visiting after the 4-year-old was found unresponsive. Tanner Clemens died 2 days later. These search warrant documents outline part of the detective's investigation and reveal what Annette Clemens told investigators as her son was being rushed to Richmond for treatment. An investigator writes that Clemens says her son ate half a CBD gummy. She says she called poison control and was assured he'd be okay. But the detective says she found an empty THC gummy jar in the house, and toxicology results showed extremely high THC levels in the boy's body, an autopsy revealing that THC caused Tanner's death. Investigators allege Annette Clemens did not get help for her son soon enough, that if she had, he might have survived. Dr. Jill McCabe did not work on this case, but as a pediatric emergency room physician at Inova Loudoun, she says any amount of THC can be trouble for children.
THC gummies definitely, in any quantity, pose a risk to children. There's many reasons for that. One is that the packaging does not include any kind of a child-proof mechanisms. They also look like candy. And so they are something that when children come across them, most children are going to put that in their mouth and ingest it.
McCabe also says the amount of THC in gummies is not regulated, so it can vary widely.
Not true.
She says if a child ingests gummies and has mild symptoms, a call to poison control might be enough. But more profound symptoms require swift action.
Absolutely, yeah. Much more profound symptoms if they're having difficulty breathing, not breathing well, having a seizure, difficulty walking, very lethargic, persistent vomiting. Those would all be reasons to immediately call 911 and have your child transported to the nearest emergency department.
McCabe believes parents should lock up any products with THC to make sure their kids can't get to them. In Spotsylvania, I'm Julie Carey, News 4.
All right, well, there you go. Let me just show you something real quick on what they're talking about, right? So this package right here, it doesn't say what it is. Can of aid, 240 milligrams. I don't know of what though. Okay, so they have it there, and then they flip it over, right? And you can see one gummy per package. Doesn't really have anything else listed on there. But then you get to this part right here, and it's really hard to read. I mean, you can maybe see the ingredients. Let me see if I can zoom in for you guys to get this a little better. I don't know if I'll be able to because of it being on video here. So I don't know if I can really get that or not, you know? It's really hard to read. But what I see in it is that it's derived from a hemp extract, which it says down here. And derived from hemp and may contain THC. And then it talks about how you might not be able to pass a test for MJ. So, which I don't like to use that word. It's cannabis. It's ganja. It's not MJ. That's a very derogatory term. I don't like to use that term. But you can see, you know, moving forward, they go into, you can't see anything on these labels here. It just says medical use only, keep from children. No something. I don't know. I don't know what that says. It says it all right there. Medical use only, keep from children, and then no something. I don't know. Was it no refills? I don't know. But then we come to this label right here, right? And this is when I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What do you guys know about Delta-8? You know, in the cannabis industry and the medical field, we're mostly focused on Delta-9 THC, tetrahydrocannabinoid. There's CBD, which is cannabidiol, but Delta-9 THC is the specific component that we go for health and everything. Now this Delta-8 stuff here, what do you know about Delta-8? Can you tell me anything about Delta-8 off the top of your head? You know? Because my wife was just sitting here a moment ago. She's pretty well educated on these things. You know, her and I, we talk a lot about these things. You know, I'm a little bit more educated as far as this subject specifically, because I've been doing this for so long. And so I knew off the top of my head about Delta-8. And I was like, wait a minute, Delta-8. Isn't that didn't the military create this like back in the 40s or 50s? And it was like something like chemically synthetic THC that they tried out on the soldiers, and the soldiers kind of wigged out and stuff. Isn't that the same stuff, the Delta-8? This is the stuff that's not regulated by the FDA. It's not part of the Schedule 1 substances on a federal level. It has no regulations. This basically is like CBD. In 2018, due to the Farm Bill Act, all hemp is now legal in all 50 states, or I don't know if you want to call it 52 if you include Puerto Rico and other territory of the U.S., Guam. But we have 50 states, I believe, here in the U.S., and Delta-8 can be purchased in the Coronado Mall, Coronado Center. You can go to the mall and purchase this. You don't even have to go to a dispensary. They just sell this right there in the open. Now, I think you have to be 18. I do believe you have to be an adult to purchase this. Now, whether or not this is the mother, the Virginia mother who just lost her child, whether or not this is her purchase, did she purchase Delta-8? Reading in the comments below, you know, I always like to read in the comments and everything and see what people have to say, right? So the child's name is Tanner Clements, right? 4. He passed away 2 days after eating these edibles at a Virginia home. WRC's Julie Carey reports. And I think that's all the information they give us. Oh, okay, you can subscribe. Talks about NBC and everything, but nothing more about this. All they do is put THC, edibles, and the MJ word in their tags. Right there, right? Hashtags. So, you know, right away, I had to say something about this. So there I am. You know, you can see me right in here, trying to get the camera to have a little bit better job of focusing in on these letters for you. Sorry about that, guys. But here's the Glassman's World. Anyone notice that packaging? Delta-8 THC, not Delta-9 THC. That's why. Huge difference. Another lab-made compound from 1941 that they are creating in labs with very caustic chemicals. Pause the video on the candies and read the label on the blue package and the black package and the pink package. I commented this before I even got to that pink package. Like I said, I stopped at 1.5 minutes in. This is a 2.5 minute video. So let me continue here. CBD arrived or hemp derived, meaning Delta-8, not Delta-9. This is how to lie with statistics. Pay close attention to their sleight of hand tricks. Magicians. They created the first THC death, and I put that in quotes, guys, in a child. They created the first THC death in a child. Now they will try to use this against the Delta-8 THC and people's God-given medicine. So, we'll continue reading on. This is the biggest story ever if it's true. AIW says this is the first time in history ever that this has happened. The story needs more than 2.5 minutes of airtime, with 11 replies under there. Chud Dudley writes, the Dr. Jill lady is completely wrong about edibles not being sold in childproof containers. I've been to multiple states with legal cannabis, and from what I remembered, that like 95% of the cannabis products, especially edibles come in some type of childproof container. The only times I can remember that I got it from a non-childproof container was when buying flour. It would sometimes come in those black plastic jars that you could just have to squeeze on the sides to open. But even then, I guess that's a form of childproofing. Wow, here you go. Ruby G writes, wow, first THC death. Took thousands of years. Got to be more to it. He must have had health complications, surely. Will it can, it should, I. Will it can, it should, I. Okay, that will be the first case ever of THC killing a person. There has to be more to the story. Shaney boy, it definitely needs to be investigated further. I find this very hard to believe as a THC distributor. The amount he would have to eat for it to become fatal is astronomically high. Also, he would have to eat them very fast. If it was one of the fully synthesized variants of THC, then maybe it's more believable. There's not enough research done into the synthetic THC. And I had to comment on there as well. Let that individual know. John Doe, it's highly unlikely there was only THC in the gummies. It was more than likely spiked with something else. There's just no way you would need to eat many, many thousands of milligrams. If by some chance this is true, then it's the mother's fault for leaving such high amounts of edibles within reach of child. Like we're talking amounts that would not be enjoyable to anyone. Right? Okay. Let's go to Eddie Chung right here. Eddie Chung. The baby had a history of being on life support and many other health complications. How come that is not considered into the ruling? Any foreign substance in large amounts for a life-supported baby is going to have consequences. This isn't a THC issue. It's a parenting issue. Accuracy over sensationalism. Adam McHenry writes an hour ago. The baby was officially listed as having died from myocarditis and inflammation of the heart muscle. That seems to be coming up very rampant these days. Weird how that was left out, he states. Right? So you see, there's some stuff going on, guys. So he was listed as that. Now, I don't know. You want to go on a hunt with me? How about we do that together? Why don't we just go on ahead and type in some things here? How about that? What is Delta-8? Let's look that up first. Delta-8. How about we do that? Sorry. My internet speed is extremely slow. Oh, look, it's giving me Las Cruces weather. Weird. Like I'm in Las Cruces or something. Okay, so I'm taking you along with me on a little bit of some research real quick, you guys. All right? What exactly is Delta-8? Why you're hearing about it? So let's go to healthline.com. And let's just see what they have to say. I've never clicked on this link before. I was using my phone to do a quick little research to remember when it was specifically created in 1941. And then I learned a little bit about, hey, thank you so much, Eddie, for coming in. And I was talking to you earlier about that information, what was going on with your son and stuff. And I think you left before I had the opportunity to get an answer. But I would love to know where that plasma center is, and if it's happening all over. But okay, cool. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Really do. And you're welcome about this. This information needs to go out because people don't know about Delta-8. You know, like I said, I started bringing this up and I was like, whoa, 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 did you see that label? And I showed my wife and she's like, wait, what's Delta-8? She's never even heard of it. So this is something that, you know, people who you would think would know, they don't know. So what is Delta-8? Let's go into it on healthline.com/health/Delta-8. They took the video down. I was still talking in chat. Whoa, they took down this video of the woman, the Virginia woman, or the one that I created earlier. All right, so let's just go to right here. We don't need all that. I don't think you need all that pre stuff, right? What is Delta-8? Delta-8 is a psychoactive compound that's pretty similar to Delta-9 THC. Delta-9 THC is a compound in the cannabis plant that produces a high, in quotations. It's what people are usually referring to when you talk about THC. Bam! So right there, they talk about how when you talk about THC, you're usually referring to Delta-9 because people don't know about Delta-8. So it's going to be already misleading and confusing. That's how they lie with statistics, guys. Though Delta-8 is similar to Delta-9 THC, it has a slightly different chemical structure that makes it a lot less potent. Oh, it's less potent. Different chemical structure. Huh, well, why would that cause a death? Get out of the way. What are the potential benefits of Delta-8? Like Delta-9 THC, Delta-8 produces feelings of euphoria, relaxation, and potential pain relief. But they're a lot milder. Milder? Well, why would we be talking about this to have caused something so fatal? For people who don't want to experience a pronounced high, the lower potency may be a benefit. Okay, that sounds like people want to really get into this Delta-8 stuff. Looks like they're selling it, right? They're selling Delta-8. Okay. Unfortunately, researchers still don't know enough about Delta-8 THC to confirm that the benefits outweigh the risk. There you go. Experts have a much better understanding of Delta-9 THC because they've been studying Delta-9 THC for a really long time. I mean, back in, when was it? World War II. Even our federal Department of Agriculture created the Hemp for Victory video that was found by Jack Herrera, and he found it while he was in the military, while he was actually still enlisted, and going through the research department and finding this tape hidden, a little VHS tape hidden behind files and stuff, and he went to go watch it, and he found Hemp for Victory. So you know that our government, they've been doing a lot of testing and stuff for a long time. They've known about hemp, they've known about Delta-9. The Industrial Revolution basically demonized and destroyed their competition, which was hemp. Hemp for Victory, Hemp Revolution, hemp industry, industrial hemp. We need it. All right, so what are the potential risks of Delta-8? Because Delta-8 is so similar to Delta-9 THC, it produces some of the same side effects like red eyes, dry mouth, rapid heart rate, trouble with coordination, slowed reaction times, anxiety, memory loss. But remember, it's also less than Delta-9 THC. But Delta-8 may also have additional risks because it's something synthetically produced. Wait a minute. What? Oh, meaning you might not know what's really in it. You see that? I'm just reading it word for word. Additionally, according to an article published in the journal Chemical and Engineering News, products containing Delta-8 may also contain Delta-9 and Delta-10 THC, a compound about which little is known. Now, Delta-10, that's something new that we need to learn, and I believe there's also a Delta-11 that they're working on too. All kinds of different compounds. There's like 115, 118 different compounds like this, cannabinoid compounds within this one plant. All right, these compounds probably won't produce ill effects. Probably won't, experts say. But it's unclear whether other byproducts, including synthetic ones, are safe to consume. Will Delta-8 get you high? Because Delta-8 is so similar to Delta-9 THC, it will also cause a high. However, some people describe it as milder than with Delta-9 THC. Is Delta-8 legal? Here's the complicated bit. In 2018, the 2018 Farm Bill legalized hemp containing less than 0.3% Delta-9 THC. That means there's a loophole at the federal level for products containing higher amounts of Delta-8 THC as long as they come from hemp that doesn't have more than 0.3% Delta-9 THC based on dry weight. However, Delta-8 THC doesn't naturally occur in large amounts in hemp plants. That means that Delta-8 is largely made by converting cannabidiol, CBD, hemp, or Delta-9 THC into Delta-8 THC synthetically, which is illegal. Additionally, some states strictly prohibit the sale of products containing both Delta-8 and Delta-9 THC. You can find out about your state's laws by looking at the normal.org map of cannabis-related laws. Now, this was kind of worded weird. However, Delta-8 THC doesn't naturally occur in large amounts in hemp plants. That means that Delta-8 is largely made by converting CBD or Delta-9 THC into Delta-8 THC synthetically, which is illegal. But if it's got a 0.3% of THC of Delta-9, then it's legal? Like, this is weird. Okay. All right. Well, whatever. Additionally, in some states, it's strict, so you got to go to normal.org. Okay. However, keep in mind that because Delta-8 is synthetically made and not well regulated, there are safety concerns. Both the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, and the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, note that there have been increased calls to poison control centers regarding Delta-8, as well as reports of adverse events requiring medical care and sometimes hospitalization. Now, I've never read this. I don't know if we really want to go into all this. Delta-8, Delta-9, impacting effects, legality, all this stuff. Impairing effects, CBD, no. Delta-8, yes. Delta-9, yes. Potential benefits, helps with pain relief, euphoria. See, this right here is like the same as this all the way to the memory loss. So it's the same as Delta-9 except other unknown risk due to synthetic nature. Right? What's an alternative to Delta-8? If you're looking for a federally legal alternative to Delta-8 that will not give you a high, you may want to consider trying CBD. So CBD is a really nice body high. It helps with the nervous system. If you have issues like that, CBD helps you really well without making you feel all cloudy or fuzzy headed or have that high or whatever. Below, we suggest a few full spectrum options. Full spectrum CBD has small amounts of THC. Full spectrum means it's got both. It's got like all of the goodness of the plant. It's not just they take out only the CBD, like you get a little bit of everything. Full spectrum is the way to go, guys. So full spectrum CBD has small amounts of THC, but not enough to produce psychoactive effects when taken in small doses. And it's got to be legal, so it can't have more than that 0.3%. How we choose the best CBD products. So then they go into all this stuff, right? And then they go into pricing. And I'm just wondering if they go into how they extract it and make it. All right? Because I guess this actually is, they're selling it to you here. Price, kind of pricey, potency. So you got all kinds of different things. So this is a blog where they're making money. That's smart. I'd advise you guys to get your own blog site and figure out how to write things like this, and then put a little clip, a little link in there, or on how you can basically make money off of your blogs by selling your own products through the blog. That's that's what people do, you know. That's why you see all of these advertisements everywhere, right? It's like all over the place, right? It's like everywhere. This Medterra. So, that's just a little bit of information for you there. If you want to make money online and not have to work, you can easily do that, just like everyone else online. That's how you make online businesses, guys. All right. So let's find out how is Delta-8 extracted. So let's go into that real quick. All right, we're gonna do a quick search right now, guys. I'll let you see the keywords that I use or try to. Sorry, this is always fun to do this like this on a camera with the. All right, whatever. How to extract. How is Delta-8 extracted? Let's just go to there. And let's see what we can find as far as the extraction process, right? Isomerization. So, what is that? I don't know. But we're going to learn together. So, I'm going to tell you right now. Here, let's just go here. Read more. What I just read on my phone just a moment ago before using my phone for this is that they use they extract it with something called hematol or something like that, which usually you would use like alcohol or ethanol, but Delta-8 cannot be extracted as easily or simply with ethanol. So they have to use something totally different. Okay, so I want to see, do they actually talk about this on this page right here that we're going to? Okay, so we are now on, I don't even know what this is. Where are we? What are they showing me here? Vita Optima. So Vita like life, Optima like your optimal life, right? VitaOptimaCBD.com. So they're selling. They're definitely selling. Let's see if they even tell us how it's made. And I'm just going to try to like just scroll through this real quick to just see, do they even tell you about how it can't be taken with the regular ethanol or regular alcohol and you got to be derived some other way? They aren't going into any of that because they don't want you to know. They're not saying it. They're not using it. They're not. See, so they're going to protect themselves because they're trying to sell it. They don't want you guys to get scared. So let's go to a different. Ethanol wash requires a solvent. Ethanol breaks down and extracts the hemp material. Then some extra steps are required. Oh, what are those extra steps? So they use this chemical and then they put it into a sulfuric acid. So of course that killed that child. Of course it did. Right? That's horrible. So let's just go to a couple different things and we'll just see, because I was there on my phone, but my phone isn't connected to this here. So what solvents are used? Okay, well, they put us in there. Let's check it out here. This is cannabistech.com, I believe. So thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. This is information that needs to be shared. We don't want them to turn this around and then start saying, oh, that the Delta-9 THC is worthless, it's bad, it's killing kids. We don't want those lies. We don't want them to try to start lying with statistics, right? So this is Cannabis Tech Media Marketplace. The website is cannabistech.com/articles/how-delta-8-is-made-in-the-lab. So yeah, basically CannabisTech.com. Articles how Delta-8 is made in the lab. Okay. Commercial Delta-8 THC products aren't plant extracted. They're lab made. Here's a summary of how Delta-8 THC is made in the lab from hemp extracted CBD. All right. I'm just going to go through kind of real quick to just see if they also speak on this. Something I learned is that Delta-8 comes from the plant after it starts to degenerate. Okay. All cannabinoids begin their life as cannabigerolic acid. Cannabigerolic acid, CBGA, called the mother of all cannabinoids. This compound evolves throughout the course. I'm learning something new right now. All right. So this compound evolves throughout the course of the plant's growth cycle into every natural cannabinoid known today, from THC to CBD and beyond. Genetics, environmental exposures, and stress can all influence these biological conversions. What's not possible? Are you saying, James, are you saying that the death is not possible? That's what I'm trying to cover here right now. I'm trying to prove to you that it isn't possible with Delta-9 THC, and they're lying with statistics talking about Delta-8. That's what we're talking about right here, guys, is Delta-8 THC, made in the lab, synthetic. So it could be possible for that child. Sorry, let me move this over so you can see what I'm reading. Well, here, let me just give this a little bit of a slight turn there. That's a little better. All right, I'm just going to kind of scroll through to see if they do talk about that. But that's good that they're starting to talk about this, which I don't know, called the cannabigerolic acid, called the mother of all cannabinoids. This compound evolves throughout the course of the plant's growth cycle into every natural cannabinoid known today, from THC to CBD. Genetics, environment exposures, and stress can all influence these biological conversions. So what I learned is when the plant degrades is when the Delta-8 becomes a little bit more proponent. It becomes more, it's created at that point. Oops, I don't know what happened there. So it's kind of like an old plant, and it allows you to have more of helps you with sleep. So if you have sleep issues, sleep disorders, that may be better for you, is having a little bit older plant. Let it grow a little bit longer. I'm trying to see if they do go into step-by-step converting. Okay, because I know that I read something about how they couldn't use ethanol. They had to use something else, which was like called, like, what was it? Hemotin or some. Heptane. Common solvents include alkanes like heptane. So there you go. So you first dissolve a CBD into a solvent of choice. Right? That's sorry. So number one, dissolve CBD into solvent of choice. Unlike other cannabinoid extractions, notably ethanol-based methods, conversion for Delta-8 requires a non-polar organic solvent. Common solvents include alkanes like heptane. What is heptane? We'll have to maybe look that up. Then you add acid or acid of choice, sorry, not or, into, sorry, it's it's 4:20, guys. My alarm just went off. Oh my god. Did it really not go away? I thought I just Oh man, really? Okay. I don't know how I can even get it off. I thought I just pressed dismiss and it's not going away. Really? Hold on. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So I had to get rid of my 420 alarm there. Because, you know, we're on that subject here. So, where was I at? Dissolving it, then adding an acid of choice into solvent mixture and stir. So, okay. So you add acid into solvent solution. Maintain the mixture at a temperature of 100 degrees Celsius while continually stirring for 18 hours. Stir hot plate required. Popular solvents include alumina acid washed or P. Toluene acid and hydrochloric acid, all known as Lewis acids. So you first got this one thing, is alkanes called heptane, a solvent, and then you also add hydrochloric acid. That doesn't sound good right there. That's going to cause some health issues. So that is all I really wanted to prove and to let you guys see right here. Heptane right there. You look it up. What is heptane? What is an alkane? I don't want to go into that anymore. This video has been long enough and it's 4:20. It's time for me to go. Also, how bad is hydrochloric acid and all this other stuff? This alumina acid washed or this P. Toluene acid. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. So, and then they do something else where they have to wash it again with the hydrochloric acid, and I don't know. They do all this other stuff, right? There are dozens of different combinations possible. Okay? Then you have to wash it, which they use a sodium bicarbonate. The patent suggests washing with an aqueous 5% of sodium bicarbonate. So then you add that to it, right? And then they sell it to you, and then there you go. So just know when you guys are watching things like this, you know, and it's very like they got that sensationalism going, you really need to pay attention to what it is that they're talking about, because they're not spitting out 100% of the facts, and you really need to dive in further to see truly how they're lying to us with statistics these days, guys. So that's all I'm going to leave you with. We're 42 minutes in right now. That's almost like a dyslexic 420. 42 minutes and 20 seconds in. I'm going to let y'all go. You guys have a beautiful day. This is Dan the Glassman. You're watching the Glassman's World. Thank you so much. Be sure to like and subscribe. Share this one out. Please share this one out with everyone, because we don't need these kind of lies hurting this newfound system of allowing medicine to get to our patients, allowing us to have recreational use of Delta-8 THC. So please share this one out with all your friends and family. Let them know how everyone's being lied to by WRC and NBC News here. Much love and blessings. You guys have a beautiful day. Dan the Glassman signing out. Time to smoke. 420. Later.